Hi guys, and welcome to episode 5 of the Spfl RTG on FC26. As you can see, just showing the team in front of us that played the weekend league for us this weekend, of course, and giving a wee update on how we progressed from the 3-0 start that was magnificent for the team. And I went back and checked and did confirm that we did finish the first weekend league of FC25 with 5 wins and 10 losses, which is pretty terrible. So as long as we win 2 more games, or 1-2 more games, we would be able to equal that record from the remaining 12. So that is pretty good standing to be in. But if you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, as well as football reactions, predictions, and of course the SPFL RTG on FC26. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of this episode then, and how we did manage to finish in our first weekend league. So, going into the final 3 games, as you can see in front of us, we actually have 8 wins heading into the final 3 games of the weekend league with 4 losses, which means no matter what, we're guaranteed to finish positive on the first weekend, which was a target for us last year with the power curve and the lack of strength in the team. But this year it appears to be easier to compete with cards that are not quite up there in terms of the regular meta, so that is pretty pleasing to know. Of course, I am going to miss the next couple of weekend leagues because of myself going on holiday for a couple of weeks, so hopefully we don't fall too far behind in that regard. But it's a good start anyway to the first weekend league of the year. So let's get into how we did in our final 3 games. Can we get to double figures in our first weekend league of the year? On to our first opponent. As you can see, and as we established in the last episode, we are going to be severely outmatched in terms of teams every single game, and we do come up against an icon in Gary Lineker. Probably better icons you can come up against, but it's an icon nonetheless. So, first few minutes of the game, we defended a corner and we looked to break away from there with Jota down the wing. Gives it inside to Clige, who passes it off to Raskin. A ball over the top for Clige. He takes it in his stride, and it's a lovely finish into the top corner from him to make it 1-0 to us in the 7th minute. 30 odd minutes past, we look to extend our lead to 2-0. We've been quite comfortable in the game. We're looking to just try and draw him out with Clige there. A couple of drag backs as well. Callum McGregor feeds Nico Raskin. He turns his man, skips away from Arujo, and fires his shot into the top corner. And that was enough for him to leave the game at 2-0. And we go and progress on to 9 wins already. 1 win away with 2 games remaining to see if we can get to double figures. On to our next opponent here. Again, severely outmatched. It's always going to be the case. But another icon to come up against in Bastian Schweinsteiger, and of course the pre-order icon Totti, which was one of the better ones you could get. So, KJ Affair in this game, we are approaching the 30th minute, looking to get the breakthrough. Daisen Maeda out on the wing, cuts back inside, gives it to Callum McGregor, who lays it off to Hatate on the edge of the box. A great first time pass from Jota into Raskin, who fires into the top corner for 1-0. We win the ball back in our own half and look to break immediately. Jota into Clige, fires it back out wide for Jota. He looks to drive into the box away from Rudiger, cuts back inside for Maeda, and he fires it in to the top corner, and we give ourselves a 2-0 lead. Just after half time now, we look to extend that and make it comfortable for 3-0. Maeda down the wing again, gives it back inside for Raskin. He looks to skip inside, gives it to McGregor, who fires it into Jota. First time, little roulette and weaker foot finish from Jota to make it 3-0. And we're looking to kill the game off potentially. We win it back up in our half again. Alistair Johnson feeds Clige in the middle. He looks and gives it to Hatate. We give it back to Clige with the 1-2. Good through ball from Hatate. Skips inside away from Rudiger. And a little Travella into the back of the net for 4-0. And just like the game previous, that was enough for him to decide that that was that. And we did dominate the game in fairness. And we do get to double figures in the very first weekend league. Can we make it 11 wins, which was a major target last year that we achieved throughout the year a couple of times, but it took us a while to get there. So, on to our final game to potentially make it 11 wins in the very first weekend league, which was obviously, like I said, a major target last year. bog standard team in front of you that you come up against a fair bit. Some popular players like Marmoush and Wirtz in there, and the Kudus from the tournament. So let's see how we get on. So a few minutes into the game here, we look to try and get a positive start once again. Callum McGregor, a little fake drag back over the top. Dyson Maida chests it forward. We do manage to keep possession somehow. I thought we were going to lose possession there. And Cleege with his back to goal manages to finish it off for 1-0. We're trying to get ourselves into a strong position here to make it 11 wins, of course, but we do lose the ball high up, and Wirtz with a lay-off to Çalhanoğlu, who plays an incredible incisive pass through to Marmoush, and this game I discovered how overpowered that is. We're 1-1 in this game. Trying to retake the lead in the game, Maida, given the coast control, gives it off to Cleege. He looks to potentially find an option again over the top for Maida, drives into the box, looking for an option to cut back, but we decide to go back inside and finish it off with Maida ourselves to take the lead 2-1. Not long before half-time, we look to try and extend it. It's a good cut-out from him when we tried to find a Tati with Jota, and then he's driving up the park with Marmoush, gives it back to Çalhanoğlu, who again, the incisive pass, and then another incisive pass plus just cuts us open. It's like the player can get past you easier with an incisive pass as well, so it is frustrating, but we find ourselves 2-2. The question is though, can we show the resilience that we've shown to retake the lead and get the 11 wins done? No, we cannot. At one point, the floodgates just... It wasn't even floodgates open. The floodgates just absolutely ruptured, and we just kept conceding every attack that he had going forward. And unfortunately, the incisive pass just kept cutting us open time and time again, and we don't get the 11 wins done. So we finished 10-5 in the first weekend league of the year. As you can see, we have that in front of us. We've got it says rank 1, which makes you feel a wee bit nicer, but there's the different ranks this year, of course. So, getting into the actual rewards, we got a couple of guaranteed informs, which we will be keeping in the club even if they were tradable, due to potential SBCs down the line that we can use for the informs, so that we don't have to buy them off the market when they raise in price, or we can sell them if they go quite high in value. And then there was the second inform, of course. We also got a guaranteed Cornerstones player, but it was capped at a max rating of 87, so we weren't expecting anything too special there. There was our tradable pack that we ended up getting. We made a couple of decent coinage in the end from that, but nothing too spectacular. And our untradeable pack for potential fodder going forward as well. So this is how the team's looking as of today. As you can see, the right wing Evo or right mid Evo that came out for the silver player, max 74 rated, we decided to stick on Martin Boyle, and he's now in the starting 11 there, as you can see. But that's going to do it for this episode of the RTG. I might get one more up before I go on holiday, and hopefully the Evos that they release during the holiday will expire in terms of being able to complete them in over 14 days, because then I'll miss out on them, unfortunately. So there's fingers crossed on that one, but thank you very much for tuning in anyway. I'm very pleased with how that first weekend league went. Could it have gone a little bit better? Yeah, there was a couple of losses we got in there that we probably didn't deserve. That one at the end there, we probably did deserve to get beat. We were just getting sliced open constantly. But there was a couple of losses in there that I don't think were deserved losses, so we potentially could have done even better. We might just been lucky in terms of matchmaking, and we could get slaughtered the next time we do it, especially since we're going to miss out on 2 weekend leagues due to the holiday, but we'll see how we perform in the weekend league the next time around. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.